In 1995 I came on as a sub against Kilkenny in the large semi-final, and then was lucky enough to make the team the following year. And I suppose I hadn't loads of years put in training to win that medal, so it was only my second year on the panel, so maybe I think I got a bit lucky at the time. We won't be afraid going in on Sunday about Cork. I'm just going to soak in the atmosphere. I'm going to really enjoy it, and I'm going to make the best I can of the day. Definitely going to play that match like it's the last game I'm ever going to play.
An exact prediction of the score on Sunday. Galway by 2 points.
2-15 to 2-13. Galway are going to win by 2 points.
Kate, you were beaten by Veronica Curtin and Galway. What impressed you about them in the semi-final?
I think Galway are very strong at the back. They're very tight unit. Their six backs are very tight, and they're very strong at keeping out. And I think that'll be a key part of their game. And then up front, the likes of Veronica and Jessica are playing a big part this year, you know. So they're very strong.
Yeah, it was a sickening way for you to lose, wasn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely, it was hard to take. All right.
Yeah, Gemma, the fact that you didn't win last year, does that mean there's a lot more caution in the camp now this year?
I suppose last year we got, you know, Kay Kelly broke my heart last year, you know. Beat us in the final and took away the opportunity of winning another All-Ireland final. But I suppose looking back on last year, it might prepare us that bit more and make us that bit more cautious, because, you know, Galway will be a similar team on their approach as Wexford had last year. Yeah. You know, they haven't reached an All-Ireland final since '98, I think, and they haven't won it since '96. So, you know, we'll definitely know what to expect and try and match their hunger, you know, on the day.
And what would you say are the Cork strengths, Kate?
Cork's strength, definitely their half-back line and midfield have always been a driving force. So if they can contain like the Galway forwards, I think they'll push through as well. Like Galway lost 3 of their key players last year, and to come back as strong this year, you know, it just shows their strength and depth. And I think that just proves how strong that Cork team is. Right. Their championship this year has been, you know, emphatic. Their wins already to date. I know they were beaten by Galway earlier in the championship, but other than that, they've been winning comprehensively in all their championship games, and that will stand to them on Sunday as well.
No point in asking Jim. I'll ask you to call it, Kate.
I think it'll go down to the wire, and I think it'll depend on how quickly Galway settle. But based on Cork's championship run this year, I better say I'll tip Cork to win.
I'll give you the money for saying that again in a minute.
You big coward. Well, now it's time for the second semi-final in our Master Marksmen football competition. So bidding to take on Wicklow's Kevin O'Brien in the final are 2 more Leinster men.
I'm Wayne McCarthy. I represented Dublin at senior level in 2000 and 2001. It'd be nice to go back into Croker Park. Like, I've only been there a few times in the last number of years as a spectator, believe it or not. But yeah, it would be nice to go back in and kick a few frees.
Colin Quinn from County Offaly, played from '95 up to 2006. I think it's important to have a routine, a set routine that you would always stick to. Generally speaking, the rule always would be that you would keep your head down and kick through the ball, and the post never move, as the old cliche goes. So it's important just to keep your eyes on the ball, really.
It's a long time since Offaly were in one.
Oh, we're able to get to them all right. It's winning them is the problem.
Let's look, Wayne. Let's look, Colin.
And here comes Wayne McCarthy. Well, takes his point. 3 minutes into the second half, Colin Quinn swings it over for Offaly.
After round 1, it's 1 point to Dublin and 1 point to Offaly.
Okay.
Well, Wayne McCarthy looking for his second score of the match. Colin Quinn. And wide. Oh, was so close.
Pressure's on.
Pressure's on.
He has the wind behind him this week. Well, takes his point.
That's all long.
At least you can score them all anyway. So
oh, yeah. That's
Dublin
humiliating.
Dublin have reached another All-Ireland final, 3 points to 1. Just try and win this one, will you?
Yeah, well, it's been a long time.
And so it's Wayne McCarthy up against Kevin O'Brien of Wicklow in the final, with the winner earning €5,000 for the charity of their choice, courtesy of Vodafone, official sponsor of the All-Ireland Football Championship. Well, now, they have 3 All-Irelands in the bag here in Kilkenny already this year, minor, intermediate and senior. The big talking point is, can they make it 4 with the under-21 final against Tipperary on Sunday? Well, to discuss it, I'm joined by 2 well-known young men who played in the grade this year, Limerick defender Seamus Hickey and Galway goalkeeper James Stephens. Give them a warm welcome. I should tell you, those of you who haven't been in the club here, James made a reference to the fact that there's so much history in the club, and I said to Seamus, your club probably hasn't got this many medals, and you pointed out you haven't got this many rooms.
Yeah,
Never mind, but it's an extraordinary place. Let me ask you about the match and the build-up. The fact that Tip played Derry in the semi-final, James, yet Kilkenny had to play Galway in a tight game. Will that stand to Kilkenny?
I suppose, no disrespect to Derry, but we put up a good test against Kilkenny, and it was only in the last 10 to 15 minutes that they really pulled away from us, you know. And both teams have equal time to prepare for the match. So, on Tipperary's sake, having the time to reflect on playing Kilkenny in Ireland final is a motivation factor in itself. So it should provide a good final.
Yeah, Seamus, the Munster final was quite extraordinary with that free reversed in the Clare Tip match. Were you at that?
I was, yeah. I was standing in the crowd. A very rare time that I ever shout for Clare, but I went to school there for long enough. I wouldn't be forgiven if I didn't. But yeah, no, it did end in a bit of a sour tinge. But it was very unfortunate that it ended like that. It was a very, very good game. There wasn't a stroke pulled in it really, like, so it was a pity the way it ended.
James, with this extraordinary record Kilkenny already have now, you know, the 3 titles so far, albeit there would have been a bit of celebrations for a few of the lads, but do you think that'll kick them on and inspire them more?
I think so, yeah. They wouldn't want to be known as the team that couldn't bring the 4 in a row, you know. But these young lads, you know, they have a desire to win, and I don't think the other 3 teams winning will really have an effect on them. You know, it's not in the final, it's wherever the young lad wants to be, and you know, they'll just go out and try to do their best and win it, and if they bring the 4 in a row, then all well and good. Like.
Yeah. Seamus, the 21 championship is unusual in that it doesn't have the back door of minor and senior. Is that a good thing? A
lot of people I've ever talked to, you know, they believe it's the last true championship that's left, and between football and hurling, you know, it just brings that extra edge to every single match. Every single match is no trap door, so there's no second chances. So I believe that it's right. I believe that the 21 championship is special for what it is, in that you can't go back around. So I couldn't see any argument for changing that.
How do you feel about when people talk about burnout, James? You don't feel burnt out or anything, no?
No, I don't feel burnt out at all. No.
Are you doing all the laps in training?
I'm a goalie, you see.
No, you're cool. Well, Matt Root is with us, who had many a great day with Kilkenny, and his son is playing in the 21 final. Matt, what's your own view on youngsters and the 21 grade and burnout?
Well, I think that it gives them great chance to get ready for senior from under 21.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I wouldn't have any back door in the under 21, because there'd be extra matches, and the fixtures are fairly cluttered as it is, and so for that reason I prefer to leave it as a knockout.
Yeah.
And it's a great stepping stone for lads from minor to 21, and gradually go into senior if they're good enough, and they get a great chance to prepare for senior.
Yeah. Seamus, given that Matt's, you're in the home of hurling here, and Matt's young lad is playing, I'll ask you to call it simple. You're amongst friends here, yes, Val said.
Dragons Den, I think.
Yeah, Dragons Den, yeah.
No, I suppose if one word answer, Kilkenny, you can't see anybody. I can't see anybody stopping them. Tipperary came through Munster. You know, they fought and scrapped for every match they had. Kilkenny just had that extra bit of class against Galway in the end, and only for the wides that they had, and they were uncharacteristic. James said it. Only for those wides, it could have been a bigger margin. So I couldn't side with anybody about them.
Right, James.
Kilkenny.
I'm trying to decide, is he really decisive or really afraid? All right, lads, thank you very much for joining us. Well, let me remind you about our television coverage this weekend. The Sunday game live begins at 3:30 on RTÉ2 with the Camogie final live from Croke Park. Then on Sunday evening at 9:30, you can see all the highlights of that game, as well as highlights of the Under-21 final. And remember, you can catch a repeat of this programme tomorrow night, just before midnight on RTÉ2 for the late owls. That's about it for this evening. My thanks to all our guests. Good luck to Gemma in the Camogie final. Hope it goes well for you. And a special thanks to all of the members here in James Stephens. They gave us a fantastic welcome. Next week is our last programme of the season. We look ahead to the All-Ireland football final in a special programme live from Croke Park. Until then, bye-bye.